Let's face it, chocolate is a lie. I mean, not everything we call chocolate is real chocolate. There are regulations that can help understand what you're eating. So it can either be chocolate or compound chocolate, which tastes great too, by the way. The main thing about real chocolate is that it's made of cocoa mass and cocoa butter. If the packaging reads cocoa powder and vegetable fat, sorry, it's only compound chocolate. The real one should contain at least 35% cocoa solid and about 18% cocoa butter. So if you have these two variations and try them at the same time, you'll probably find the compound one a bit tastier, as it has various flavorings. And no wonder compound chocolate seems to be way more popular than the real type. First off, it's cheaper. Also, it's easier to store, as it tends not to melt at room temperature. Right, so what about white chocolate? Is it real or compound? Actually, it's neither. It's not even related to chocolate. While compound chocolate has cocoa particles, white chocolate has zero. Yep, it has cocoa butter, but it's a bit different. The cocoa butter doesn't give it its signature flavor. Also, real chocolate contains certain compounds that trigger our brains, making us happy. As you might have guessed, white chocolate can't do the same. Any Nutella fans in here? We all know it's hazelnut cocoa spread, but have you ever wondered how many nuts each jar contains? The company once provided official info on it, stating that each jar contains about 50 hazelnuts. That may seem a lot, but it only makes up about 13% of the whole content. Sugar and palm oil take first place, making up 50% of all the content of Nutella. Fun fact here, the original recipe was way more nutty. Nutella was inspired by gianduja, the traditional Piedmont recipe. It was changed several times over the last couple of centuries. At the end of the 18th century, it was a blend of chocolate with 30% hazelnut paste. And it had several interpretations. This early Nutella prototype could be used as a filling for chocolates, or even eaten in the form of bars. The mid-20th century interpretation had a whopping 71.5% of hazelnuts and only about 19.5% of chocolate. Now moving on to another global commodity. I'm talking about coffee. First things first, let's debunk one myth. There's no 100% decaffeinated coffee. Any coffee that has at least 97% caffeine removed is already considered to be decaf. By the way, there are a couple of different ways of removing caffeine. The first method involves a special solvent. The coffee beans are washed in it, and once the caffeine is removed, the solvent gets washed off. The second method, called the Swiss water process, involves carbon dioxide or a charcoal filter. Now here's a fun fact. Your morning coffee is stewed fruit. Coffee beans are a berry pit, so it's basically a drink made of berries. Now for a bit of heartbreaking math. Imagine that you have a bag of nachos or chips and it costs you $10. Do you know how much you paid for your snack? Only about $1.40. Where are the $8.60 then? You paid for the air in the bag. Research revealed that there's a brand selling mostly air and very few chips. Don't worry, not all the bags are that air-packed, but still, there's always way more air than snacks. Instant noodles may not have any hidden lies, but they have a pretty cool story. Let's kick off with myth debunking. They say instant noodles were invented in Japan, but it's not so. The modern variation is for sure Japanese, but the very first ancient prototype was invented in China. Those were noodles that were fried and then served in soup. There's a legend telling that a chef put the already cooked noodles to boil again. To rescue them, he took them out of the pan and fried them in hot oil. The modern Japanese version was invented to prolong its food shelf life. After several unsuccessful attempts, Momofuku Ando, the inventor, came up with a method of preserving noodles. They were processed in various ways. They were steamed, dehydrated, fried in hot oil, and seasoned. In the beginning, instant noodles were considered to be a luxurious product, since they cost way more than the fresh noodles everyone was used to. We all love lemonade, and there are many variations of this drink. Today, pink lemonade has that nice color because of grape juice or added colorants. There are two legends of how it was invented, both of them featuring circus workers. The first story alleges that Henry Allott, who worked in a circus, unwittingly dropped a few red cinnamon candies in the lemonade, which gave that vibrant pink color. Another story is a bit gross, claiming that Pete Conklin, who was a circus worker too, one day ran out of water for lemonade and used the water from the tub where one of his colleagues had washed her red stockings. They faded and colored the water pink. Pete added some sugar, slices of lemon, and tartaric acid. He called it strawberry lemonade. The customers liked it a lot, and his sales doubled. Ugh. Sorry to break it to you, but nachos aren't some ancient Mexican food. They were invented less than 100 years ago. Ignacio Anaya, nicknamed Nacho, is said to have invented this dish in the 1940s. There's a nice story behind nachos. A regular customer got hungry and asked if Ignacio could bring her and her 3 friends something different that day. He saw how hungry the ladies were and decided to cook something quick for them. He had to improvise using available ingredients. So he got some tortillas, grated loads of cheese on top of them, and heated the dish from above. To make the dish more savory, he added some jalapeno peppers on top. Mamie Finnan, that very regular customer, asked what was the name of that unusual snack. Ignacio didn't think long and said the name was Nachos Special. The family of citruses has more intricate love stories than any rom-com. It actually reminds me more of a soap opera, like Dynasty. It may seem that an orange is a mandarin's dad, probably due to their sizes, but in reality, it's quite different. Limes and lemons aren't half-brothers either. They have way more differences than just the color. Grapefruit always seemed to be a sort of outcast of the family, and we'll talk about them too. Sweeties and pomelos seem to be those distant relatives you hardly ever see. So, here's their family tree. The orange is the the hybrid of a pomelo and a mandarin. It's about 25% of the pomelo genome and about 75% of the mandarin one. Grapefruit is a hybrid of sweet orange and pomelo. Lemons may seem all independent, but in reality, they're just another hybrid between bitter orange and citron. And yeah, the lime we eat is hybrid too. In the wild, there are various evergreen trees of different types whose fruits we may call limes, but we mostly eat cultivated ones. Actually, there are many more distant citrus relatives you've never even heard of, like Tangelo. Not hard to guess that it's a cross of a tangerine and a pomelo. Or Orangello, a cross between a grapefruit and an orange. An almond is often mistaken for a nut. A nut should be dry, yet almonds have a fleshy layer. While growing on a tree, they look like a peach. So when you open it, you see a seed inside the inedible fleshy layer, and this is the almond we all know. If a strawberry fast food milkshake sounds like a safe and pretty healthy option for you, you might want to reconsider it. According to research, a regular strawberry milkshake may have about 59 ingredients in total. Thing is, it's pretty hard to recreate the original strawberry flavor, and it requires many ingredients to do so.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.